God and asking for the blessing of this meeting and the blessing of the outcome of this meeting. So it's just few words, few blessing words. So
please go ahead.
Yeah, obotadde tifufa fanu Oromotin.
Akkasuma yaa nagaan ollee nagaan nu bulchu.
Amiin.
Waaqayyo waan baaneef kana nu yaa milkeessu.
Amiin.
Saba wal dhaggeeffatu walii galu Waaqayyo nu haa taasisu.
Amiin.
Amiin. Biyyi keessa jirru kunis magaalli keenya biyyi keenya nagaa nuuf haa ta'u. Amiin. Jaalala walii galtee Waaqayyo nuuf haa kennu.
Amiin.
Amiin. Wal dhageenyu saba wal dhageenyu Waaqayyo nu haa taasisu. Amiin. Kanuma.
Yeah, thank you, Botade. Thank you so much. The brief blessing is just he is praying for the success of this meeting and the outcome of this meeting, that we will be successful in reaching out to the community, and the discussion and everything will be blessed and really to the point. So I would like to thank our elder, Ato Tadele, and invite Elsa from Department of Neighborhood to just start the presentation. Actually, the presentation is about, she's going to give us the, let me make it in Oromo. Elsa jedhamti. Actually, almost all of them are good in English and they understand English, and then they can really catch up with your presentation easily. So just I want to let you know that most of them are good, very good in English. So Elsa jedhamti, city of Seattle irra dame neighborhoodii jedhamu keessa hojjetti, manaajera sagantaati. Kanaaf haala amma Seattle keessatti deemaa jiru, keessumattuu sensasii geggeeffame asitti bu'aa sensasii sanirratti hundaa'uudhaan lakkoofsa manaatiif uummataa jechuudha. Isarratti hundaa'uudhaan magaalaa deebisanii gurmeessuudhaaf deemaa jiranii. Magaalaa deebisanii gurmeessuu jechuun bakkeen amma keessa jirru, fakkeenyaaf naannoo Nihoolii yoo jiraanne, naannoo argiteere Nervistaa yoo jiraanne, akkaataa duraan turerraa daangeffama haaraatu deemaa jira jechuudha. Kanaaf isarratti bakka bu'oonni hawaasaa, miseensonni hawaasaa akka hubannoo gahaa argatanii waan kana hawaasaanis gaanii fi multajjiin kun kan barbaadame. Isuma kana kallattimaan Elsatti dabarsee presentationin Ingiliffaan deema. Hopefully you guys, I believe you don't need interpretation. So if you have yoo gaafii qabaattani gaafachuun hin danda'ama. Afaan Oromootiinis yoo gaafattan afaan Ingiliffaatti illee Elsaan akka deebiftuun goona. Thank you so much, Elsa, for your patience, and you can go ahead and start with the presentation.
Thank you so much, Abdu, and thank you all for being here. Also, thank you for the blessing. We need blessings, and I appreciate them. I appreciate them, and I am grateful with the opportunity to receive a blessing for a meeting. That doesn't happen. It should happen every time. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, you can share this best experience to the other communities. That's why I just started as a benchmark. Before we do anything, we have to just bless that and pray for the success of what we are intending to do. So
I appreciate that. I think we all need it, right? Difficult times. And so what I invited Abdu to a first conversation, and I said, Abdu, can we have a meeting with community leaders and people in the community and your community who can understand the importance of this topic so we can have a conversation? And so Abdu and I had a conversation, and Abdu told me, I know the people, I will call them, they will come, because my community cares a lot about what's going on in Seattle. But we don't always have the opportunity to get our voices heard because there's not enough time to hear about what's happening. And so what I will be sharing with you is about this process, that it has to do with It's in Seattle. It has to do with the council, the city council, and also it has to do with our population, with all of us. So let me ask you a question. Did any of you remember participating in the census? I'm putting you back. Does anybody? You can just say yes, or anybody remember doing the census? Feels like forever ago.
Yes, I do.
2020, right? That was a very difficult year for the whole world. But right when we were starting to count people, that's when the pandemic happened. So you remember that. And so I remember telling people that doing the census was very important, not only because we needed to know how many people there are and how many people we live in this in the city and in the country, but also that it has different implications. And so I'm going to go through my this slide that I put here, but I'm going to also talk about it, so you don't have to pay too much attention. So I put here a small map of the city of Seattle. And the city of Seattle is, you know, it's long. And and the city is divided by 7 districts. These 7 districts, each one of them are like, we have one council member that represents each one of those council and district council. And then we have 2 other ones that represent the whole city. So we have 9 council members, and each one of them is supposed to represent everyone's interest of the people who live in Seattle or do business in Seattle or go to school in Seattle. And so let me give you a better picture of who they are. So for instance, we have in District 1 right now, we have Lisa Harbold. In District 2, it's Tammy Morales. These are the council members right now that represent the people in Seattle, the people who live in Seattle. And so in 2023, starting in 2023, all of these positions are going to be up for election. Everyone in city council, except for the 2 at large, meaning that, you know, there's a representative for District 1, for District 2, and all the way to District 7. But there's 2 that are representatives for the whole city. That's Teresa Mosqueda and Sarah Nelson. They're not going to be up for election, but everyone else is going to do that. And why is that? The reason why is because the city of Seattle, these districts were drawn 10 years ago. When the city, well, less than that, but every 10 years, the city needs to have the same amount of people in each one of these districts. And because the city of Seattle now, and after the census grew, and I'll tell you how much, so the city has to draw these lines and make sure that each one of these districts has the same amount of people. Let me show you what it looks like right now. So this is a list of how many people live in the city of Seattle. So just alone in the city of Seattle, we have a count of about 737,000 people. That's how many people live in the city of Seattle. Of all these people, people who are under 18 years old, it's about 106,000 people. So kids under 18. And of course, over 18, we have about 630,000 people who live in the city of Seattle. The population of color, including all of us, I'm Latina. So including all of us, Latinos, Asian, Black and African American, African immigrants, Native Americans, all of us as people of color, we are about 290,000 people in the city of Seattle. Let me show you a graph that shows you in a pie chart. So from 2010 to 2020, we grew 21%. So there was a lot of people who moved to Seattle and who was born in Seattle. And for that now, The people of color in the city of Seattle, we are 40.5% of the total population in the city of Seattle. You know that when we were doing the census, we will know if people, with more detail, what people said. Some people were able to specify if they were not just Black, if they were African or other places. But for now, we know that the population in Seattle that we know of Black and African American is 6.8%, the city of Seattle, compared to white population, which is 59.5%. The biggest population in for the other people of color are Asian. We have about 16.9% of people in the city of Seattle who are Asian, and so on. So if you look at the map, I always like to find myself in the map. You know, it's this long place, and there's north and south and west and east. The district in the area where the city of Seattle had the biggest growth in population was District 7. This is like Salt Lake Union, Queen Anne, Space Needle, all the way until Magnolia. Let me ask you a question. Why do you think there was a big growth in that part of Seattle? Who can take a guess?
Because of Amazon.
Okay, somebody knows very well. What about Amazon? What in Amazon can make population grow? There was maybe more housing, more development. What other reasons?
I think more apartments.
More apartments for sure. Yes. What else?
Proximity to the city center.
That's good. Yes, it's very centric, right? But if you drive around there, which I know a lot of you do, that place is very different. I don't know how long you've been in Seattle, but that place is so different. There used to be not a lot of people in there, and now many different businesses, new roads, the whole tunnel, that's new, all of it. So that means a few things. Means that the city of Seattle also has to do a better planning on where are they going to be moving people, because what happens now is the city of Seattle has to divide all of these districts again and to make sure that each one of them get the same amount of people. And that is going to assure that each council representative represents the same amount of people. I hope that makes sense to you and why the Seattle redistricting happens. Because what this means is a simple math, which is that if the city of Seattle has 737,000 people, and there are 7 districts, and each one of the districts has to have the same amount of people, well, we have to divide 737 people into 7 districts, which takes us about 105,000 people per district. And so if right now, for instance, District 1 has 99,000 people, and it has to have 105,000, you have to add about 5,000 people, a little bit more, to make sure that we hit that amount. So the people doesn't move. What moves are the lines. So let me ask you a question here. Do you know, does anybody here live in District 1? And I think maybe, Abdu, I believe you live in District 1, don't you?
I live in District 2.
In District 2.
The Southeast Seattle area, yeah.
Southeast East, okay.
Southeast Seattle.
Do you know of anybody else here that lives in District 2 or 1?
I think most of the people here are District 2.
Yeah.
I see. So you're all my neighbors.
Yeah.
I live in District 2. I want to ask you, I live really close to, I live on Rainier and Graham Street. That's where I live. And I know there's a lot of people around here. So District 2 needs to get bigger. It needs to get more people. So right now, the council member that represents District 2 is Tammy Morales, and her position is going to be up for election. I don't know if she's going to run again or somebody else. It could be one of you. If you live in District 2, you could, if you wanted to, run for council member, because one of the requisites for anybody to run is to live in the district, right? If the lines change and all of a sudden you're not in that district that you were planning on running, that is called, that could be not anymore a district where you can run. And so the people who are going to be making the decision of where these lines are going to be, it's a commission. There are 5 members of a commission. They're volunteers. They are from different parts of the community. We happen to have one former mayor in the commission, but they're all volunteers, and they will be making the decision on where the lines are going to be. And so I am here to tell you that this is what the commission is going to do. The commission is looking for public comment and opinions. How could this impact your community? What do council members need to hear about your community? And what is the message that you would like to say? And then I want to invite you to come to one of the public forums to share your thoughts and information. But first of all, I'm going to stop and let me tell you if you have questions.
Yeah, can you give us just an idea how these lines move in the area that is still short of the required number of population in the district?
Yes, so if you were able to look at the map, I'm going to show you an example of how these maps are gonna change. So let me put it here in the, let me share this with you. I think, Mr. Ulo, I think you're in the computer, so you might be able to see.
Yeah, hopefully.
And for those who can't see, I'm going to try to do my best to explain.
Can you also explain where those 7 districts are? For example, District 2 is in Southeast Seattle area.
Yeah.
District 1 is down to the West Seattle, and District 7 is in Queenan. Or can you just give us a glance of brief so that people can understand where they are living?
Yes. In this map that I'm going to put in here, hold on just a second. Let me do some arrangements here with my screen. Are you able to see my screen, or are you not seeing my screen anymore? My map. There should be a map.
There is no map right now on the screen.
Hold on just this.
It just went away. It was there.
It was
just went away.
Okay, let's just do this. Is it there now?
Yeah, it's there now.
There you go. It's coming back. But
okay, great.
Zoom it in so people can see it.
Yes.
Better view.
So let me just show you first this map. This is a link, and I'll put it in the chat for those who can't play with it. But this works just like Google Maps. It's an interactive map of the city of Seattle. So I'm going to put it here in the chat for those who can play with it if they want to. But in this map, you see up north here, do you see my little arrow here, my mouse? Shoreline, right? Here's Shoreline up north. And down here, you have Buren, Aquila, and Renton. So the lines, the green lines, this is where Seattle is, right? Now, District 1, we're going to go in order. District 1 is West Seattle. West Seattle and Highland Park. This is whole. I'm gonna add some layers here for you to see neighborhoods too. District 2, which is the next one over, is all the way to Rainier Beach, down here. Rainier Beach, it's where the line crosses before it becomes Skyway and Renton. And so this is part of District 2, all of it, all the way to down south. And also it includes, what is the street? Let me add some streets here. This is better. So this is Rainier Avenue, Renton, and then it becomes Rainier over here, MLK. And this is the water, this is Lake Washington on this side. And on this side, this is I-5 right here. And then to the east, the boundary, right now, it includes all Boeing Field and Georgetown and all the way up north. So in Rainier, think about all the way to Rainier up to Jefferson Park, Beacon Hill.
Roxbury will be the borderline.
Mm-hmm. So the borderline, it's kind of a weird line here, but it includes a little bit of Mount Baker. It goes up to, all the way to Yesler and includes some parts of downtown, the International District. That's what District 2 is. And I'm going to put another link in the chat for you to know, if you don't know, if there's anybody in this call who doesn't live in the South, let me know and I can tell you what district you live in. Is there anybody else, somebody who doesn't live in the South?
Yes, I live in Sandpoint.
Okay, so Sandpoint. So we're going to go north, right?
Yes.
And I live in Ballard.
Okay, so hold on a second. I'll go into Ballard in a second. So to go to Ballard, to Sandpoint, it's all the way over here. You see, Magnuson Park over here. This is all the way in District, this is District 4. District 4, you live in District 4. And then for the person who lives in Ballard, it's on this side, it's on the west, right? What part of Ballard do you live in, ma'am?
Northwest.
District 6.
This is District 6. And if you live, what are your crossing streets, for instance? Is it 85th?
Is 85th, 15.
Oh, how did I know that that's here? So you live right here, 85th, 15. That's District 6. Okay. So your representative is a different person, right? So anybody else, and I'll tell you now who your representative is. Anybody else who lives not in District 2 or not in the South End?
I think we have people from.
I think I am in District 3.
3. What are your crossing streets?
Broadway and Fairs.
Oh yeah.
Far.
Wait, Broadway and what?
Far Street, FIR.
Fair Street.
Yep.
It's definitely District 3.
Yes.
Yep.
So do you know who your representative is in City Council? Your council member?
No.
Okay,
No,
I'm gonna tell you in a little bit. Anybody else who doesn't live in the South End? Does anybody live in West Seattle, White Center?
Yeah, I think Abdulaziz is here on the call. He's from West Seattle at High Point.
High Point, okay, so it's right here, and this is District 1. So I'm gonna show you before I go into the map who your representative is, who they are. Is that okay, Abdu, if I do that?
Yes. Please.
Hold on just a second. Let me find my other. Let me know. Okay, hold on. Okay. Are you looking now at my different screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for people who live in West Seattle, this is West Seattle, your council member, the person who represents you, the person who was voted to be in council, it's called Lisa Harbaugh. That's your council member. For all the people who live in South Seattle and are in District 2, your council member is Tammy Morales. And her position is gonna be up for election in next November. Not this November, but 2023. For District 3, for the person who lives in Capitol Hill or Broadway, your council member is Shama Swant, right here. For the person who lives in Sandpoint, it's District 4, and your representative is Alex Fenderson. Ma'am, for you who live in Ballard, over here in District 6, your representative is Dan Strauss.
Okay.
And we have District 7, which is this Andrew Lewis. And these two over here, Teresa Mosqueda and Sarah Nelson, they are representative of their council members for the whole city. So that means if you ever need to talk to them about an issue in your neighborhood, first, you can go and talk to these council members who are, their job is to make sure that the people who live here have and get what they need. Oh, I missed District 5, which is Deborah Juarez, which is up north here. Flows really in the boundary with Shoreline. This is what the your council members are. I'm gonna go back to my map. If anybody else in the call wants to know and doesn't know which council member is yours, let me know and I will let you know.
I have a question. I live in Burien. Zip code of the 98168.
Yes.
Not yours.
So you would be, are you looking at my map now, Abdu?
Yes.
Okay. So where you are is actually, you live outside of the city just by a little bit. You live in the city of Buren.
Buren, yeah.
Do you know the crossing streets where you live? In Buren?
What do you say? Can you repeat again, please?
The crossing streets?
12225 in Occidental Avenue. It say the Seattle, my zip code.
Ah, that's interesting. So 122. Let's see, where would it be? It would be around here.
12225. 25 is last. 3+2.
Okay. So what's interesting about this street, the cities, is that you are very close to the line with Seattle, but the city that represents you and the government and the council members that you also have are from a different government, which is the city of Buren.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. But this is very interesting because it doesn't matter if you live outside of the city or inside. A lot of us do business in the city. Like, I don't know where you go shopping or where is your mosque or where do you go do prayers or where do you do whatever it is that you do in Seattle. Most of us do business in Seattle.
I have a business in Seattle, zip code of the 98118. I'm the owner of the business.
Oh, see, there you go. Where is it? What address?
7631 Rainier Avenue South, City of Seattle, State of Washington.
There you go. There you go. So it doesn't matter if you don't live in Seattle, you have business in Seattle. And that makes you, then it sounds like, so it's Rainier Avenue. What's the crossing street for your business?
Rose Street?
No, it's not the Rose. Holden in Rainier.
Okay.
Holden Street.
Okay, so Holden is down here. That's Henderson, and then Henderson.
Keep going north.
Rainer, go down.
Okay.
Rainier.
Yeah.
Okay, so, oh yeah, okay. Here is Rainier Avenue and Holden here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right
it's
there,
right here, right?
Yeah, the corner.
So if we zoom out, you can see that your business is within District 2.
Yeah.
So if you ever have an issue, a lot of the times you can go and talk to a department, the division, but you can always go to talk to the council member who was put in that position to represent your interests and to represent your community. What we know is that there is one person to represent this many people, 105,000 people. It sounds like a lot, but also it's not that much because a lot of those people are kids. A lot of those people are, so how many households, how many people, and have they ever come and talked to you? Have you ever had a conversation with one of these council members? Anybody here?
No.
Has anybody ever approached you and said, I would like to know about you, your community, the issues that you have?
Can I say something?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. For the record, I'm not a voter, but I'm a resident. I live here since the last 6 years.
Yes.
But what I observe from the voters is that there is a little bit of a disconnect. I have never seen a representative trying to approach the community, especially in times of needs. Like as Oromo communities, we have a lot of issues that bring us together, and we have a lot of challenge, not only here, but also, you know, maybe this is outside of the discussion, but that concerns us because it has impact in the way we do business here, do our work, and interact with others. So we most of the time needed people who represent us to talk to us, but we did not get. I'm not sure Abdu can help me. Abdu has been signing letters and, you know, submitting it to, I think, the state level, I suppose. But when it comes to, you know, on the ground, we need a kind of connection with our representatives. If we don't see them, and if we, especially coming from Africa, where authorities are not approachable, where you have less experience and practice to talk to your representative and say, we need this individually, or I mean, like not like micro level individual, but as a community, we don't have that practice. But for us to be able to also experience that here, I think our representatives also need to take a step further to make us, you know, test what democracy is like, apart from asking for votes and we voting, and we don't know that our representative is what our representative is doing. So this is a challenge, I believe. So just to throw this for your note.
Thank you. I welcome that comment. And you're very right. And one of the things I wanted to say is that when we were doing census outreach, we told people, it doesn't matter if you cannot vote yet, you matter because, and you count because you live here. And because of you living here, you live, and that person is going to represent your interests, even if you can't vote yet. So that's very important for you to know that even if you didn't vote for somebody, you can still go and talk to your representatives about that. Any other comments?
Yeah, if I may say a few words about that. Generally, the council member come out only when it comes to election time Other than that, they don't pay attention to the community interest, problems, and the issues. That is an issue on both sides. The colleague, the community member who talked about the Oromo community in particular in the South area, mostly people of color, mainly people of immigrants lately came into the United States. The people do not have voice. Their voice, their interest is not heard in the city. Whatever the city does, the policy that the city makes, the districting, the budget, the security issues, the safety issue, the health issue, the education issue, all in all, the social and the economic benefit that the city government gives doesn't have on its table people of colors, interest, or issues. Now, this needs the community involvement and to be engaged and active. And on the other side, the people who are in the council member, including the mayor, should approach these people and talk to them, understand their interest, and work with the community. One of the departments that deals with this kind of grievances and overall the city well-being is the neighborhood department where you are working. If we may say that you may just relay or this message delivered to the whoever is in charge, the department head and other people who work in the district level. Now, that's what I'd like to ask, Ad. Thank you very much for asking that.
And thank you to community liaisons like Abdu who can connect that. That is the goal, but we need to do better for sure. So I don't know if there's another question. Go ahead, please go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, I want to say thank you to Abdu to give us this opportunity. Something really, I am just feeling so bad about education. And sometimes actually I feel it really, I have to go back to Africa. A lot of families, they say, some of them already, they take their kids back home because of the system of education. I read it in a book about the piped water. Not to be racist, but I want to really express myself. White people drink water from here. Black people used to drink water from here. The education system is like that now. You leave, you take your kids to school where you go. And there is no choice of school, which if your kids are going in district to, for maybe up to high school, they're going to move to Bellevue Good School area. Maybe they're going to go back 2 years education because they don't have that kind of education. Why the school is fenced on us? It is completely fenced on us, so smart way. This is maybe, I don't know exact time, maybe 8 years ago. I don't know exact time. It used to be you can take your kids any school. That's how I used to drive my daughter to Roosevelt High School. And she graduated with honor student from college too. And I don't have that chance for my kids now. It's blocked on me. So this is so hurtful for a lot of family. And there is some kids are so top, they don't have challenging. So they only move to the choice of school really. Why this system are failed on us? And exactly these people, they're supposed to show to us and tell them our problem. And they change this locked up on us like water years ago. Thank you, and I appreciate that giving us this chance too.
Thank you. Thank you.
I just sorry. I just want to add, I'm a sociologist by profession, and thinking of being represented. You remember when I first commented, I said a disconnect. That is a very meticulously used word for you guys to consider. It's not only from the representatives, but also unintentionally, or probably, well, if I participate, if I actively do this and that, it will cost me my time, my work, in survival mode of living. I'm not saying, like, I'm not underestimating the opportunity that is we enjoy here. It is way better than back home. But what I'm trying to say is, like, who would say I must give my census information to whoever is on the outreach or whatever it is in the mail, because I don't see the benefit. For example, one example, let me give you. Shiitake is in the city of Seattle, right?
No.
At the airport, large number of immigrant population work. Like, I could say more than 70% are immigrants and colored people. That means the airport operates with people from immigrant people. There are organizations that benefit or took money from the COVID, the pandemic support that was meant to keep people from being laid off. And I, for example, see a company that took $72 million and did not call back a single employee. And I am one of them. 72 million taxpayers' money is gone without no accountability. So if my representative is not doing this, tracking this, what did you do with the money? When you see the benefit, you will fight for your right. So as a sociologist, what I would do is there a way that representatives have their own drawing of the various communities and, kind of like subsidy or sub-committee or sub-community at various levels, where also information is gathered, and one person from a certain community, like for us, Abdu can ask every one of us and say, what do you want our representative to know? And we give it to him from the Asian community, from Latinos, from other African, any community that is there, even whites. So if there is a way in which the information is channeled for that representative to truly represent our voice and fight, the body issue will not be, an issue. Everybody would be like, yes, this is my right. This is my representative. He has done or she has done this and that for me, represented me. Apart from the district and redistricting question, I have to feel it. I have to have, we are large in number. We need 3, not 2, or something like that. We can claim, we could work in tandem with you, with your department. I just want to add this one. Thank you.
Yeah, I think, thank you everybody for raising this very important and genuine concerns of our community. It's not just our concern, but the concern of BIOPAC people, Black, Indigenous, and other people of color, including the Latinx, the Asian, and different communities that are really racially discriminated and alienated from different resources. Those all concerns are really true and live. We have to just talk to the right person, maybe in the city, or we have to invite our representatives and elected officials to let them know that our community has these grievances and concerns about their representation or the way they are doing for the benefit of our community. It's not that really beneficial to our people. I think we have to we have to set another agenda and invite people to answer those really critical questions that my colleagues, my brothers are raising. So Elsa, it would be really good to go back to your agenda and complete your presentation. I think the questions are very interesting. There is a racial discrimination against our people. We can raise education issue that Abdul raised, very important. The quality of education in South Seattle and the northern part is much different because of this systematic and systemic discrimination. We can raise health issues. We can raise affordable housing. Most of our people, the people of color are pushed away, pushed out from the central city where they have been living for a century because of this gentrification. People are just pushed out south. They can't afford the rent, the living expenses is skyrocketing. So I think this issue needs further discussion with the representatives and the elected officials, and we really need answers. The people we voted for are coming just when the election approaches, not for the benefit of people and not for just solving the problems and the concerns that our community is having. So we will work on this. Our community will work on this. I can take initiative to talk to the council members, Tammy Morales, and we also have the King County representative, Girmay, who has been representing our district. And we can talk to other people who are representing City of Seattle at the state level. So hopefully we can, our community can really arrange those kinds of discussions with these people, and then hopefully we'll get answers for the concerns and grievances.
I appreciate that. And, you know, I believe that any opportunity that you get to have with somebody in government, it's an opportunity, right? And so I'm inviting all of you to attend this public forums. Whether you are there with a specific concern or to learn more, I think it's important for any space to say, I am here and I represent, or I am part of the Oromo community in Seattle, and these are our concerns. And whatever decisions you make, think about these issues that we are experiencing. And so for that, I want to invite you, all of you, to attend one of these public forums. They're going to happen very soon. They're for each district. They're going to be online and in person. The first one is going to be this Sunday for District 1. So if you live in District 1, you may want to come to that one. It's at the High Point Library, but also online. So it's going to have those options. It's from 1 to 3 p.m. You are welcome to come. And you're welcome to come and share just what you said tonight, which is, we're understanding this process, and whatever it is, these are the concerns of our community. Whatever you decide, whatever you think of our concerns. The next one, which I know the majority of you live in District 2, it's gonna be on Thursday, May 19th, from 5:30 to 7:30. Again, it's gonna be online, and in person it's going to be in Beacon Hill at El Centro de la Raza, which is up in Beacon Hill. And the next one is going to be on Thursday 2nd. I will be sending this information to Abdu, to you via text or something so you get to know. I would love to have you. I know there's very educated people among the community that can express and share with a commission who's making decisions for the next 10 years for the city of Seattle of what are those issues that the Oromo community is needing to be addressing. And if your community is showing up, you know, the more people, the more we're gonna have more and more interest and more connections that you can make with local government. So I'm gonna stop my presentation right there. Abdu, and I wanna thank everybody for being here, for taking your time to spend learning about redistricting. Believe it or not, this is the first time that the city of Seattle is doing it. And we wanted to make sure that we invite everybody to the table of discussion. Not everybody knows about this. Most of the people in the city don't know because it's the first time. And so I invite you to take your seat at this table and continue the conversation as the rest of the city in Seattle for this. And so, Abdu, if there's no other questions, I will send you this information for you to share with your community. And I will hope to see you in one of these meetings in the next few months.
Thank you so much, Elsa, for your wonderful presentation and insight to the redistricting information. I think my community representative, these are wonderful people that the Oromo community have in Seattle area. A huge potential, huge interest from our community. Actually, my community, the population of my community is estimated to be about more than 10,000. But despite the higher population, the leverage and the benefit that we are getting from our representatives and from the city is not that much. That's why people are worried and raising different issues. Hopefully, these issues will be resolved as soon as possible. Or why not? We can run for the city council. I can run for the city council and make a difference. That I have my people, my community, and other East African communities. Yes. Yeah, yes. Supporting me. So we don't need just to go out and ask for the other representatives to just answer our questions. We have to be there, show up, and represent this big, large community. So hopefully that will happen. Maybe among us or another person from our community might do the same. So that's what I wanna say. Thank you so much, Elsa, for your great presentation, and I would like also to thank my Oromo brothers and sisters for joining this call and really making a wonderful comments. And I really appreciate your understanding of the city and mentioning different concerns of our community. So we can go ahead and wrap up this meeting. Elsa, if you don't have anything to say.
No. Can I say salam alaikum at this time?
Yeah, you can say salam alaikum.
Salam alaikum to all of you.
Yeah, Elsa, before you leave, if you are done, just you comment something just structural or policy related about the district. Is it only changing the lines when the population changes in the districts, or is there a way or in the policy and the structure where the districts are increased? Now we have 7 districts. Can it go more than that?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, it only changes when every 10 years with the population, and the population would have to be way bigger in order to add another district. It would have to have grown more than 1% of each of difference with other ones. So right now we don't have enough growth to add another district, only to change the lines. So we would have to have a growth of, I don't know, like probably 30 or 50% in order to add another district.
Yeah, the city was expecting about 5 years, 6 years before a population grows in the city of Seattle, so as big as the city of Bellevue in Seattle. What is the trend of that projected growth now? Is it the same, keeping the trend?
Well, it looks like it's going to be growing by 2030 if it's going the way that it's going. But I don't think it's going to go up to another district unless I don't think the trends show that.
Oh, okay.
But good question, thank you.
Maybe the factor is it's the cost of living in Seattle area. People are moving out of Seattle and to the suburb.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Obotade akuma bambannet bana chufno. The closing is also in blessing, and our elder will make a few points and prayers.
Galatoma ga waan asumne kana waaqayyo garaa keenya keessa nu yaa bulchu qalbii keenyatti haa qabannu.
Amiin.
Information waan nu kenna kan hundumaafu ulfaadha kabaja waaqayyo isiniif haa kennu. Waan jiru waan naannoo keenya irra jiru beekuun waan guddaadha. Waan kasi jiru iddoo jiru akkatti jiru kana qubannee hubachuu wal hubachiisuu waan guddaadha. Waan kana nu hubachiiftanii fi yeroo keessa fudhattanii ulfaadha. Waaqa sinaa kabaju.
Amen.
Okay, waan kabajanneera nagaan bula.
Galatom.
Galatom. You can say Galatom, Elsa. Galatom is thank you.
Galatom? What is it?
Galatom.
Galatom.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, information isinif erga ka public forum sanirratti influence baay'ee godhuu dandeenya. Sanirratti yoo argamuun danda'ame qaamaan argamne achirratti jara gaafachuu qabna. Yoo argamuu dadhabnellee online hordofuu dandeenya. Public forum sanirratti osoo argamtanii bareeda.
Okay.
Keessattuu Sunday kana district 1 irratti waan jiruuf Sunday online namni dhaqabu in hirmaanna. Yoo isa dhaqabu baanne ammoo ka district 2 Thursday May 19 waan ta'eef isallee information asiniif ergaa sanirratti in hirmaanna yoo rabbi jedhe.
Okay, thank you, Abdul and Asa.
Thank you, Abdul. Great job.
Thank you.
Galatoma.
Okay.
Galatoma.
See you later.